Welcome students. Today we'll be discussing Model 3 Unit 5 and the summary of the topic is Plug-it. My name is Alfred Ni Aiti Ama. I'm a sound engineer and a film and television production expert. It is very important to understand the process of digitization in this AI era. The reason being that the basic principles of film and TV sound production hasn't changed. It is the technology that has changed. Now, if you want to become a very good sound person, you need to understand the principles. In fact, audio is analog, and we worked with analog over a period of time before we went into the digital domain. The dynamics are different, but the process of manipulating the audio is what has changed. Again, if you don't understand how the process of sound is produced, how can you then manipulate it? So yes, I agree, AI is very good, but as a sound engineer or as a sound professional, if you are converting sound to electrical energy to manipulate it, you need to understand the medium, first of all, of which the sound is produced, transmitted, and then manipulated. You are going to do a recording of an audio, be it TV or voiceover. Once the sound is recorded, previously we were recording to that tape or cassettes. Now we have the digital era where the sound is encoded. And how is the sound encoded? You still have to understand the process because you are converting from one medium to the other. Today we have AI, so you can do your recording and then the AI or the software can edit, can even mix and master your audio for you. As a sound engineer, if you don't understand the process, how would you appreciate that the sound that you've recorded, that is going to be worked on by the software, that's what you want it to do? If it is encoded or if it is sampled, is it sampling at the right sample rate? Is the dynamic range okay? Do you understand the basic principles that will encode the analog and convert it into digital for you to work with it? So I believe that as up and coming young sound professionals, you need to understand the basic principles of audio digitalization. And once you understand that, if you have an AI tool that would enhance your work, it makes it very useful for you to do that. Now, what happens is that once you use AI, the speed of work, when you go out and do your recording, you have to manually encode, you have to manually edit, and all that takes time. But once you have an AI software, the parameters are there. You just click and then it samples all the audio forms that you have. That's the editing, that's the mixing, that's the mastering for you, and you have a finished product. But if you don't have an understanding of how the process works, then you will not be able to effectively use the AI tool to enhance, speed up your project. One may ask, in this era, is it possible that we have AI doing all the work? I believe it's a yes and no. I recently watched a news production control room where, in the normal production control room, you have various people working. But in this video that I saw, I only saw one person. And every device in the control room has been networked and has been programmed. So a news anchor will come to the studio floor, will sit down with a script. The script has been programmed in such a way that once the mic is put on, the audio mixer knows when to fade up for the anchor to talk, when to fade up when a video insert is being played. And I'm like, wow. So it means that a lot of people are out of work because if the AI can do the mixing of the sound, play video, do the slacks, then you only need that one person who is there. And the reason that one person is there is because AI is not a human being. AI cannot replace the human mind. So there are days that the machine can freeze, the machine can go off, a software bug or virus can cause a machine not to work. Now you need a human assistance to drive the AI to work. So I believe that it is very, we all don't know how it will end, because the way and the pace at which the technology is going, I believe that it is still a combination of both human efforts and AI. But again, you are as best as who you are. And this, I mean, as an individual, you have to read, you have to learn, you have to understand what informs the techniques, what informs the principles. And once you do that, it enables you to use the AI much more. Yes, there are people who devise softwares that will tell you that you can even write, I want ABCD in my story. This is how I want the sound to be produced. And then because the data has already been given to the software would pull the data, edit it, and give you a soundscape. So you need an environment of a marketplace. Naturally, you would have to go there with your sound recording or your video equipment, go and record it, come and edit it and master it. But if you have a software that has all these samples already recorded, you just scrape it, input it into the software, and then the software will create a soundscape for you. But the question is within context. This soundscape or this sound ambience that has been created, will it fit into the narrative that you are trying to create? Will it fit into the world that you are trying to create? So yes, AI is good, but it is good in the sense that how are you going to use it? If it doesn't match or it doesn't add value to the narrative that you are going to talk about or you are going to tell, then I don't see it as something that you have to use it. But if it's going to add to it, then I would encourage that. Again, you would have to know why you are using it and what parameters within the software or within that AI system that you need to use to be able to tell your story the way you want to tell it, and not the way the machine wants to tell it or AI wants to tell it for you. A microphone is a device or a transducer which converts sound energy into electrical energy. One of the good things about the microphone is that it is the only device that captures the audio that is generated or the sound that is produced. Now, as a sound person, it is very important to understand, one, what is a microphone, the use of a microphone, the characteristics of a microphone, and the different types of microphones that we have. In our world of audio, we have the dynamic microphone and the condenser microphone. The dynamic microphone basically operates on the electromagnetic principle, where if you have a magnet and you put a wire in between and there is variation in terms of air pressure, it generates electricity. And then you have the condenser microphone, which has a stored energy in it. Depending on the air pressure difference in the device, it also generates electricity. So basically, the essence of a microphone, like I said in my introduction, is to just convert the sound energy that is produced by the human voice or an instrument or any other vibrating body and converts it into an electrical energy. Now, this electrical energy will travel through a cable into a recorder, into a mixer for further processing. Now, once you understand that there are two broad types of microphones, that's the dynamic and then the condenser, you would then have to know what informs your choice of a particular microphone for a particular project. Like I said earlier, microphones have various characteristics. First of all, if you are going to pick a microphone, one of the key things you must know, we have what we call frequency response. Now, the sound that we perceive as human beings falls within a certain frequency range. And it has been established that this frequency range falls within 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. What this means is that if I pick a microphone, and depending on what I'm going to use the microphone for, I need to know that this microphone should be able to reproduce the frequencies that I am going to capture. If I am going to capture the human voice, which falls within a certain frequency range, then when I pick a microphone, one of the things that I have to look at is the frequency response. And once you know that the frequency response of the microphone we are using would help you capture the sound, you go in for that microphone. For instance, let me use this example in music that will make it very clear for you. The bass drum of a drum kit falls within the low frequency, which is, let's say, from 40 Hz to about 100 Hz. So if I am going to pick a microphone to mic a bass drum, technically I have to pick a mic that can capture or that falls within the low frequency band. I shouldn't pick a microphone that has a frequency response from, let's say, 200 Hz to 2000 Hz. What this means is that it will capture the sound, but it's not capturing the key frequency spectrum that the kick drum produces. So first of all, if you pick a microphone, the frequency response is telling you that this microphone reproduces this frequency. And that is from 20 Hz to 20,000. Some may be from 300 to 2,000. Some may be from 100 to 1,000. So depending on the voice or instrument you are capturing, you go in for a particular microphone. Number two, we have what we call the directional properties or characteristics of a microphone. Now, the microphones that we see, if you are into film and TV, we have several types of microphones. Like I said, we have handheld microphones, you have lapel microphones, like the one I'm wearing, you have head-worn, you have headset microphones. Now, what is the distinct feature when it comes to their directional properties? We have microphones that can pick sound 360, and this characteristic is known as the omnidirectional microphone, which means this omnidirectional microphone picks sound all around. So when I position the microphone, it is picking sound all around the diaphragm. Now, this microphone, the reason it picks sound all around is that the manufacturer is telling you that when you put the microphone down, it's going to pick 360. Wherever the sound source is coming from, the microphone will pick it. We have another property called the cardioid or directional characteristics. This particular characteristic is telling you that the sound is captured by the microphone from a direction. It is unidirectional. What it's telling you is that once I position my microphone, it is only capturing sound from the front. It is not capturing sound from the back or the side. We also have what we call the bidirectional characteristic, which means that it is capturing sound from both sides. The reason being that when I have to do a one-on-one interview and I have a microphone that has a bidirectional characteristics, it means that I can place the microphone in between the two people who are going to do the talking, and the microphone will pick both sounds. We also have what we call supercardioid. This is a more narrow angle of acceptance of sound. And we have hypercardioid. The hypercardioid is even more narrow. Now, when it comes to film, we use most of these supercardioid and hypercardioid microphones because, for instance, let me give you an example. In film and television, let's say you are doing a drama and you have two characters standing by the roadside talking. If you use an omnidirectional microphone, the sound that will be picked will pick the cars passing, the market women shouting and all that. And even if you use a directional microphone, it will still pick some sounds that you don't need. But when you pick a microphone that has a supercardioid, it means that the angle of coverage is very narrow. And so you'll be able to focus the microphone to capture the two actors who are going to talk in the market. Even though it's a noisy place, because of the choice of microphone being the directional characteristics that you chose, that is the supercardioid, you are going to have a very narrow angle of coverage, and this means that you will be able to capture the dialogue very well. If you don't capture the dialogue very well, you come to post-production and you realize that you have a mixed sound of the market atmosphere, the traffic, and then the voice or the dialogue that you recorded all at the same level, and that will not be good for the production. So as a sound person who would be doing mostly film and TV, one of the key microphones we use, especially when it comes to drama, is the supercardioid. The microphone is only capturing sound, but you, the operator, you, the sound recordist, or you, the sound engineer, you must tell or you must direct the microphone to capture the sound that you want to be captured, and that is only the first phase. So for you to be able to capture it well, first of all, you need to know the script, what the producer or the director wants to and then look at the microphones you have and do an assessment based on the script that you've given, that I have this number of microphones. Which of these microphones would best suit the job or the project or the production that we are going to do? And based on that, you do your selection. Is it going to be a combination of a lapel microphone, a handheld wired or wireless microphone, or you are going to fix a shotgun microphone on a boom? The script will tell you what you need to do. And also, must the microphone be seen in the video? These are discussions that, as a sound person, you must engage the producer or the director to understand before you leave the office to the field to do your recording. One of the importance of this unit of microphone selection, placement, and usage is that it is the first phase in capturing the audio. If you get it wrong, it will be very difficult for you to be able to produce a good sound. Students, we've just had a session on Module 3, Unit 5. What are the key takeouts? 1. Artificial intelligence has come to stay. But like I said, the basic principles of film and TV sound production may not change. It is the techniques that would evolve over time. And so you must understand the principles, the reasoning, the logic behind the principles, and you would adapt to the changing evolution that is taking place. Again, you must understand the various microphones we have, the characteristics, because it is the characteristics that would inform your choice. It is the characteristics that will inform the selection of a microphone for a particular production. Once you have a well-produced sound that adds to the narrative, watching your film, watching your television production, or watching your animation will be enjoyed by your audience. Once it is very easy for a non-trained sound person to evaluate your job, then you have no excuse as a trained person to deliver well on every project you work on. I hope this has been a very wonderful session. Hope to meet you at the next session. Thank you.